You're listening to the Sans Pants Network.
What's good, listeners, and welcome to this week's episode of Plumbing the Death Star. I'm Joel.
I'm Jackson.
And I'm also Joe.
Plumbing the Death Star is a comedy pop culture podcast that asks the important questions like, how would you exploit the pet cemetery for personal gain or, I guess, profit?
So the pet cemetery, it's not really a pet cemetery.
What?
Well, so there's the pet cemetery.
Why is it spelled with an S?
Because it was, okay, so there's a pet cemetery.
Yeah.
That's a cemetery for pets.
Yeah.
Well, you bury your dog if it goes away.
Yeah.
Okay. And the sign, which was made by children, they don't know how to, they can't spell for shit. That's the thing about kids.
How can I bury my dog if it goes away, Jack?
Well,
It's gone away.
that's a different scenario. If your dog gets, it
So
passes on.
Pet cemetery, the
Yeah.
pet cemetery was made by children.
No, it's just like an old pet cemetery. It was labeled by children, I suppose.
Yeah.
There's a
It's
big
like-
sign at the front of the pet cemetery. It says pet cemetery with an S.
Yeah.
Now, beyond that, up a deadfall, and you got to walk a bit to find it, is an ancient Micmac burial ground. And
That's the true pet cemetery.
that's the true pet cemetery, but it's just a regular pet cemetery. Regular cemetery.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm nervous.
Yeah, you're scared. Because you're going to have to remember this movie you watched that neither of us have.
Exactly.
So it's a regular pet.
There's a pet
Doing
cemetery.
it to you
It's
too.
not easy.
It's a
There's
regular cemetery where
There's
you
a
can.
pet cemetery,
and that's attached to a regular cemetery.
Yeah, but it's more like a burial ground.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you bury something in there,
Yes.
it will come back,
Yes.
but it doesn't come back right.
Okay. Come back a bit wrong.
Well, in the movie, they bury one cat,
Yep.
which comes back evil and tries to eat a baby. And then they bury one little boy.
Yeah.
And it comes back evil
And tries to eat a
kill a
baby?
family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Which
baby eating
version
is
of the
not.
movie did you watch?
I watched the most recent remake.
Okay.
Sometimes dead is better. That's what they say.
Yes.
Oh, plumbing the Death Star.
Yeah, sometimes dead is better,
Sometimes
see?
dead is better, plumbing the Death Star.
Okay. So
You best not be burying anything in that pet cemetery.
Well, I was go.
Are you imitating my accent?
Hello, it's me, a third guy.
Oh, okay, you're British. Never mind.
Okay, sir. I have a question.
I would like to bury my dog. Where do
I
you...
wouldn't do that. Bury it in the regular pet cemetery, plumbing the Death Star.
But isn't that... Well, yes, because I keep hearing about this cemetery that I should avoid, but that appears to be not a
Why
pet
is he
cemetery.
doing my voice?
I don't know, sir.
I live here too.
Why are you doing a different
Because I
voice?
thought I was going to be a small child trying to bury their dog or something.
Okay.
I don't know. What's the bit?
We should be asking that question more on plumbing the Death Star. What's the bit?
What are we doing?
What's the joke here?
I don't know, sir. Sir,
We're
I do
just
have a
different-
question.
The joke is we're three different guys with
Yes.
funny voices. That's the
I
joke.
have a question though,
Ye-
sir.
Yes?
When you said you bury a cat or whatever and it comes back and wants to eat a baby.
Yes.
What happened to the cat beforehand? How many pieces was it in? Was it whole?
Well, in
was
the
it a bit
movie-
missing?
I
I
mean,
need
the
these
previous
questions
tenants,
yes?
their cat got hit by a truck, I think.
Oh, I'm real fucked today, eh?
No, it
Okay.
came back just with like matted fur and stuff.
Yeah, but when they buried it, was it like a smear?
No, it wasn't like a sauce. It wasn't cat sauce on the highway.
Okay, so they
It was
scooped
just
up.
a cat.
All right, but like you said, it was hit by a truck, sir.
Yeah, but it was mostly fine.
So when it comes back, hello, it's me, Joel Dusher. I've wandered into this conversation.
The other guy's
guy
left.
He got confused about why he was being accused of stealing a voice.
Okay, fair enough.
So he went off at a half.
Yeah, what's
now
your
he doesn't
question?
know what to do with his dog.
You made that man for a bit and then abandoned him. That's
man is-
dangerous.
You uninvited him into the conversation.
Okay, I have a
Yeah,
question.
no, so hi, I'm Joel Dusha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking to maybe bury a dog or a cat
I
or whatever
see.
soon. When they come back bad,
What does that mean?
there's a-
Cat's sick. Fair enough.
yeah, there's a dog I hate, and I'm gonna do something about it.
Okay, yeah.
It's finally time for me to take revenge and do something about my problems. And my number one problem, there's a dog that I hate.
Okay, fair enough. Hey, fair enough.
So if I, for example, blow up this dog,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, grenade in the food bowl trick,
Or
classic
classic
trick.
breaks.
or car bomb the dog or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Classic
Nice. Of course, classic
Um,
gag.
will it come back in bits, or
No,
does it
comes
come back?
all together now.
But it doesn't come back. So the cat that got hit by the truck,
Sometimes dead is better.
the cat that got hit by a truck,
Yeah.
it didn't come back just looking like how it was after it got hit by the truck. It healed.
Yeah, but it was
It
still
healed wrong.
sort of fucked up.
Yeah, but was that caused by the truck,
No,
or is that just?
yeah, it looked like a regular cat that had just been like.
Did you see the cat
is what
before it came back?
This is what the cat looked like. Okay.
Yeah.
Imagine you had a cat, and then you let that cat go into the woods. You didn't see the cat for a long time, and it lived really rough. And then it turned back up on your doorstep, and had a sinister atmosphere about it.
Well, sir, so I understand that when you bury something, it come back wrong or whatever.
Yeah.
And we had a competition with me and the guy with the funny voice, but he's gone. But
Yeah.
anyways, you guys can't.
Hello,
Anyway.
I'm back.
Oh, he's back. That's nice.
He's back.
Anyway,
what is this bit?
Anyway,
I was asking around the town to see if anyone else knew what to do with my dog, and they kept pointing me back to you, and I was
Hey,
like,
man with the silly voice, I think Dusho is gonna kill your dog. He was talking earlier about a dog he hates.
my dog's already dead.
Oh, he's got a separate dog he hates, I guess.
Oh yes, when I entered this
many
conversation at the start before, you were very rude to me about
Right.
my voice.
yeah.
I said I want to bury my dog.
Right, no, that's true. It
I
ma-
think. I'm pretty sure I said that.
Yeah.
Little kid?
Yeah.
What's your
So, have you ever seen a TV series called Pushing Daisies?
Yeah, I've seen some episodes,
So
yeah.
you know how the premise is that he gets like rotting fruit in a pie or whatever, and then he touches and brings it back from the dead, so they're like all like healthy or whatever. I have a lot of spoiled pies in my backpack, so I want to bury them in the pet cemetery and then sell them for delicious pie.
Well,
No one's ever done that before. You're on your own.
will that
idea.
mean that the pies come back as fresh pies, or they come back as cows?
Well, no, it's fruit pie.
Fruit pie.
Oh, but is it going to come back full apple?
Yeah, so now I'm like, because initially like I got some bad steak, and if I buried that.
So, okay.
All right, I have a great deal. Let's go with the one we might be able to answer first before we even look at fruit.
Okay.
I have a great deal of a shady butcher. He's like, you want some,
Old
past
meat?
its prime meat? I got to give
Do
it to you.
I?
Hey, you fella.
Cents on the kilo. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
Want some cheap meat? It's off.
Oh, I would love some off
It's
meat.
off. It smells. Get in here.
Oh, yeah.
You're not gonna want to miss out on this deal.
I'm
Yeah.
like, how I'm gonna get great. So
Okay.
for cents on the dollar, I'm gonna get a whole sack of bad meat.
Right.
I'm then gonna go with my shovel to the pet cemetery, dig it up, put the sack in there,
Okay.
bury them, wait a bit. What happened? Am I getting healthy, delicious, primo steak?
Yeah.
But evil, or am I getting a lot of cow
Well-
in one space?
I think that a steak is not dead.
Show you're working.
By which I mean, a steak is not.
It's not a dead body.
It's not a dead, but it's not a. It's not like an entity. So I don't think it's going to come back. A cooked steak or a fresh steak.
Yes.
Your steak doesn't die; it goes off. It's already dead.
So you're saying that
But it's meat.
Yeah, I think you're likely to get a cow. Is what I'm saying. Or a piece of steak.
Yeah.
that is just a cow again, like a chunk of cow.
Yeah, like a chunk of cow, and maybe alive and sinister.
So if I get it, okay. So if
So
I
it
get
could
it,
just be like a pound of flesh,
Yeah.
but with fur or some shit.
Yeah.
I have to skin it again.
Yes, and then I suppose you could cook it. But what happens if
then
you
I could
cook
sell it.
evil beef?
Well, I'm not cooking. I'm selling it.
Yeah, but
what if you
somebody's going to
s-
cook
Oh,
the
yeah.
evil beef.
I think you'll have a really, really hard time selling evil beef because it's got an off-putting aura.
Yeah, no one likes being around the cat or the little boy.
So
Actually,
people,
little girl. It's a little girl in the
What
remake.
if I could
yeah.
then? Okay.
but then is it also a little boy? Don't they kill two kids in the movie?
In the remake, it's a little girl, and she kills the mom, and then the mom, it's basically the family goes evil mode.
Yeah.
And the last shot is them approaching the little kid in the truck, and you're like, oh, they're going to be an evil family, I guess. But I think in the first movie, it's only the little boy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a bunch of bad meat. I bury
Right.
it. I dig it back up. It's now basically if you imagine just like a T-bone steak. Now you imagine that alive somehow and covered in a cow skin.
Yeah.
Would it be cow? 'Cause now I can initially I was like, okay, cool. Well, then I'll have to stab it. and then
To kill it.
and skin it, and then I can mince it or sell it, whatever, and then I can either make it like a some kind of like maybe I'll mince it, and put it in some like
Make a burger
tacos
patty.
or a
Meatball?
meatball, spaghetti, and meatball.
Spaghetti.
Evil meatball and
Evil
spaghetti.
meatball. Joe Zammit's evil meatball.
But if I've cooked it with, say, really high quality other ingredients, does that counterbalance the evil meatball?
Well, this is funny. You're going
and
to
then-
so much effort to get rid of the evil
Well,
when you
but
could
I
have
didn't
just
really-
bought steak.
Yeah, I know, but I bought cheap meat. I'm trying to make money,
Yeah.
and this meat was going in the bin, or I bought it for like nothing, right? It's very cheap meat,
Extremely cheap off
And now,
meat.
but the thing is, like, if it grows like a skin, like a cow skin,
Yeah.
like a hide. And I stab it. Well, now I've got hide to work with. I could make an evil jacket.
You could make an evil
I'm
jacket.
using the whole evil cow.
Yeah, use every part of the evil animal. Yeah.
Like I'm just like, how much does it regrow and how much does it not?
Well,
Because
okay.
I'm like, if I get a bit of steak and it's just like, can you imagine like a steak as is, but like covered in cow skin, like undulating?
Yeah.
And I have to hit it with a hammer, I guess.
Yeah,
Well, it's like in the movie. So when the cat comes
just like the movie.
It's just like the movies, dude.
Yeah,
when the cat comes back, it's like still you can't. A very important point is you can't brush it anymore because its hair just falls out.
Okay. Not a problem for me.
Yeah.
Great for me, actually.
Actually, no, that's.
Because then hopefully I can
Does it mean
get
the hide will just
bristle,
disintegrate?
or if it sloughs off, great. Meat.
Yeah.
Sloughs off.
Sloughs off for the boys.
How do we feel about that? Sloughs off.
Yeah,
I like it.
I was really pissed off to discover that it's slough, not slough. I wish skin sloughed off instead of sloughed off.
I like sloughed better than slough.
Sloughed is good because you can
Although
say
Slough does remind me of that wonderful British town.
Yeah.
Which made me sad because I loved being in Slough that time I was
Yeah,
in
it
Slough.
was good
And then
to be
I
in
found
Slough.
out that it's from The Office or something.
I don't know.
The Office.
We were
the
there for a
UK.
big Tesco from memory.
Yeah.
But
it's
sloughed
set
is
in
good because
Slough.
you say sloughed off.
Yeah.
And it feels fabulous
Also,
to say.
sloughed sounds like it's a bit more onomatopoeic.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
the
Whereas
noise it would
slough,
make.
But like slough. Slough. Imagine like, you know, a bit of like soft skin, as it were, falling right off a delicious now steak.
Yeah, true.
The Tesco in Slough was very big.
It was quite a big Tesco,
Yeah.
Slough had, to be fair.
And people listening to this podcast be like, oh, he looked it up on his phone.
No,
I just sat
no.
here and thought. You can see it in the YouTube video.
Exactly. Got a big think about
What
that.
do you think about a big Tesco? If you imagine like a big thought bubble appearing.
That's what's happening.
There was big Tesco, and I think there was a CEX, which I think they've just got a game store called Sex.
Yeah, they do.
And I'm pretty sure it's just called
in
Sex.
SECS
No,
or
it's
SEX?
CEX.
CEX.
Yeah.
And you know what? That was not one of my options.
Yeah, I would not
You
have
got
guessed
me.
that.
You got me
I
good.
think also while we were in Slough, we saw a bunch of people lining up for job interviews at a
Starbucks. Yeah, they had an open.
That
it was
felt weirdly rehearsed.
It
Didn't
was
like that.
strange. Anyway,
So I
Yeah, it was
buried.
a big. No, let's get because this was weird.
Is it?
Yeah, because
Why?
it was
People
like
need a job.
no. It's not
What's
that it was a
happening in
Starbucks. Let me explain why it was weird.
What?
We went into the Starbucks to get a coffee because we're in Slough, and what else are you going to do?
Of course.
We had to hype ourselves up for the big Tesco
Yeah.
with some caffeine. And we went into the Starbucks,
Yes.
and rather than a situation where you've had to apply for the job and then
Yes.
get an interview,
Yeah.
it was basically the vibe seemed to be between these 2 hours, roll in with a resume and they're doing a big group interview. Anyone's welcome.
yeah,
Okay.
it was a kind of
Well,
like
maybe
That's
it's,
a weird. I
Maybe
don't,
they just opened, or like recent open, or recent like firings, or something happened.
well, it was,
and they need a lot
COVID
of people.
just ended.
Yeah,
and
that's
so
very
maybe
true.
like, wow, shit, COVID just ended. We need a lot of like employees.
Yeah.
we're getting
It's
a
a
lot of
free-for-all.
We're getting a lot of applications to actually go through
let
every single
everyone
one.
in.
Actually, you know what's
No,
going to be
veto
easier?
it. We should have got jobs.
Yeah.
We
we could have, dude.
What's
For
gonna
the
be
one day we
easier
spent in Slough.
Yeah.
Is hey, everyone that's applied, we're going to open this up now, and then we can whittle it down. Because
Yeah,
it's gonna,
true.
It's going to be easier to do that in person than it is to going to like
That makes
look through
sense.
like 100 resumes.
But COVID was still happening, so in person actually feels even dumber.
No, because again, remember that time it was like COVID's not happening. Go
Yeah,
out.
that's true.
Don't worry about it. What, everyone's getting COVID again?
Yeah.
Stay inside. they cooked it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an
you know.
awesome period of time where it was reported that roughly 1 in 7 people in England had COVID.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
And then also it was reported of shush.
Yeah. No one has it, maybe.
No one
Doesn't
has
matter.
it. We're good now.
I'm trying to remember
Yes.
in Pet Cemetery.
Yes.
if the cat, when they bring it back, because like when they try and brush its fur falls off, which is because it's dead.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to remember as well if they were like, it's ice cold to the touch because it's dead.
It's still dead.
Like it's still dead, it's just back. And I'm just wondering about
Yeah,
your
what
steak.
does this mean to a steak? Because again, I'm like, all right, are we fruit? Maybe we don't know right now. It might be a bit too much harder to answer.
Yeah, hard work.
But I'm trying to
figure
figure out how do I make money off this thing that brings things back to life.
Yeah.
And if it's kind of like, well, great, because then if I can have like how, say, some people, if they want fresh seafood, they will go and they will point to that lobster in the tank that they want to take out and eat. And I'm like, if I can do the same thing with a bunch of like, undulating
bits of meat,
and to be like, take your picks.
I suspect you couldn't do. I think if you buried a bit of meat and then you unburied it, dug it up, it would just be dirty meat. I don't think it would be coming back. But you could do a lobster. I think you could kill a lobster with a little hammer or whatever, bury it, dig it up. That lobster's alive again.
Actually, what about
because if it's a small enough animal,
okay, lobster. I don't know why we're hammering the lobster first because it defeats the whole purpose. What about instead of going to a butcher, I go to a fishmonger?
Okay,
and I'm like, give me your dead, rancid.
Come here, I got a great deal. Some rotten seafood.
I got some rotten seafood. I now have a big bag of fish.
Yeah,
and there's a whole fish.
Oh, that's true. You can do fish.
I could unbury, i.e. dig,
Yeah.
it up. They're flopping around because they're like trying to gasp for air. They die then and there, freshly.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I have a big ice bucket or an esky or a chili bin.
And then you take that into the market the next day.
Chuck it in, take to the market, fresh fish.
Okay, got some terrible news.
Yeah.
There is a direct plot point in Pet Sematary that means that your plan doesn't work.
What?
No, even with a whole fish?
So, yes, because the cat that gets hit by a truck, Winston Churchill. Church.
Yeah.
Part of the plot of when they come back and it being a little dead is that it reeks.
So if you have even the freshest fish, I'm smelling that. I'm like, that's all fish.
Even though it looks primo fresh.
What if you had the fish in like a tank? You don't like kill it again.
Okay.
And then I can pick the fish. And if I'm like, this fish reeks, you're like, yeah, but it's alive. Like it's a stinky fish. Like it's stinky,
Jackson's world famous stinky fish.
It's stinky. That means it's good.
Yeah, like the thing you get in certain Scandinavian countries.
Oh yeah,
is something strong where you open it up, it makes you vomit.
Yeah, okay. So you say that's part of the deal.
Oh yeah, the can of fish. Yeah, that's a fucked up can of fish.
Stromsburg,
like
Stromskon. Yeah.
Yeah.
You say, hey, this fish smells like fucking shit, dude. But it's delicious and the smell is good.
Okay.
I guess you say it's fermented. Is that what's happened to the fish?
Yeah, I say it's fermented. I'm realizing, well, I could just get
You can't ferment an alive thing. Though.
I know, I'm realizing I don't necessarily need to take it to the pet cemetery. Give me, fish. Give me that fish.
Yeah, I guess you're just
I'm a lie.
You're on-selling rotten fish. I guess that's kind of the plan.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess the same thing, if I was to say get an apple pie.
Yeah.
And it was rotten.
Yeah.
The core. And then I buried that, unburied that, dug it up.
You just have
I would have like a pristine looking, amazing pie
that
smells bad. Okay. So then, can we then, if it smells bad but looks great, can we then shift this to marketing?
Okay.
And so I'm going to take some I guess primo B-reel shots. Of like food that looks incredible.
Okay, but just smells like
who
shit.
Who cares? Because I'm filming it.
Yeah.
And I will sell that as stock footage.
Hey, your plan has really dramatically fallen down.
Look.
And I don't know why. I guess it's cheaper to buy an off pie than a pristine pie.
Because again, when you're looking at for film magic and that kind of stuff, the whole thing is they're using mashed potato for the ice cream.
But I don't think it
so
comes back pristine. It just comes
whatever.
back as it was. In fact, actually, if the cat's anything to go by, it comes back disgusting.
Yeah.
God damn.
And it will stink.
Maybe, but he's
stink is not
planning
the
to just
problem.
film it for B-reel.
If I film it for B-reel
but no,
and sell it for stock, that's fine.
But how much money are you saving by doing that?
You got to go right all the way into the mountains to the Micmac Cemetery. Then you got to bring it back. You got to do it at night.
How much are people okay.
Yeah.
So I guess the only way that this works is you got to assume that people aren't going to actually be selling you bad pies. You're going to find them in bins and stuff.
Yeah.
So they're free.
Yeah.
But then, like, how much is a pie going to cost you for Be Real anyway?
Yeah.
A couple of bucks?
Well, that's the thing. Again, I'm trying to like figure it out because again, you can't. My
And then
idea
also-
was to then get the gross rotting meat to like
Then
make
also-
fresh and delicious
Yeah.
and salad, even though it's evil.
Food's
but
not
if
going to
it-
work.
Yeah.
Because you got to think about even just the basics.
Yeah,
You're putting this food in the ground,
yeah.
and then you take it back out. It's going to be covered in dirt.
You give it a wash.
Are you going to wash a pie?
yeah.
I was still thinking of a fish. That's
Yeah.
my bad.
Yeah, see, again, fish I thought would be the best idea, but now
Also-
also a bunch of stinky fish.
What I would be worried about, it's on like a kind of raised sort of like plateau
Yeah.
or whatever, and everything comes back not only secretly dead, but also evil. So you're
Yeah.
going to pull a fish out that's going to flop into you and knock you off the edge of the cliff.
Yeah.
And try and
Oh, the
kill you.
cliff?
Yeah. The fish will try and kill you, dude.
Yeah,
And
I thought-
getting killed by a fish?
Yeah, dude.
Can you imagine?
Yeah,
And
they're
like I'm
very
burying,
embarrassing.
and I am burying like a sack full of them. That's a lot of fishes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You might be
Yeah.
torn apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They come back as piranhas.
Damn. Yeah, look,
No.
the only food I could think of with all these stipulations would be an actual fish.
Yeah.
Because it's a whole alive thing that's like there. But if it's going to come back stinky and no one wants to eat it, I just have a bunch
Yeah.
of like stinky fish to sell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you say you accidentally you hit the neighbor's dog with your car?
Yeah.
Yes.
And you knew about the pet cemetery?
Yes.
Would you try and bring it back?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's the plot in the book.
Yeah, I know. But
then
like
yeah.
Does it happen in the
Yes.
movie?
but in the
as
movie it's
well?
their own cat.
Yeah, no, so it's still their own cat.
Yeah.
But it's in like the kids away. And
Yeah,
they try
And they're like, oh, we don't know how to explain death to the kid.
Yeah.
So let's not explain death and
Let's just-
use the evil pet cemetery.
yeah.
Would you know it's evil?
Well, no, it's extremely funny in the movie because this guy who talks like this, he's like, hey, I hear your cat's died. Well, come with me. I'll show you a special place. And then he takes him to the pet cemetery, and then the cat comes back and he tries to eat the baby. And the guy whose cat it is goes to the old guy and he's like, what the fuck? And the old guy's like, I thought that might happen. And he's like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
And he's like, when I was a boy, my dog got hit by a train and we brought it back and it killed my mom. And he's like, and you let me bury? Are you crazy, old man? Yes, he is.
Yeah.
That's
I think
Is
this-
there also the story
incompetence.
of the boy that got brought back in the movie? Yeah, okay.
in the war.
Well,
Yeah.
look, I did my best. I tried to make some profit here.
Yeah.
Now I got a bunch of evil, stinky alive fish.
Yeah, and I actually, so
The
look,
stinkiness is really hard to get around.
That's
it's
the
a real
thing.
problem, the
Yeah, 'cause
stinkiness.
I
No,
thought
see,
maybe
I-
being alive would be fresh.
Yeah,
No,
stinky.
no,
Come back
no.
stinky.
And-
Come back wrong.
So this is less for my personal gain and more to put to bed. I guess it's our personal gain because it's a stance that me and you, Jackson, have taken publicly before, and people didn't like hearing it.
Okay.
So this will fix that.
Okay.
So I guess it's a personal gain, sort of. It's mostly a PR move, and the fact that it's going to come back evil will help it.
Okay, I'm interested.
I think I know where this might be going.
So. In 2000 and
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
2017, 2018, in a Cincinnati zoo,
Yeah. Yeah.
a child
Yep.
fell into a gorilla enclosure, and then a zookeeper had to make the ultimate decision.
Yeah.
Do I let this child get torn apart by a gorilla in front of onlookers, or do I take the shot and end Harambe's life?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
And everyone's like, you made
Wow.
the
You made the right choice.
Yeah.
Well, no, we said that,
Yeah,
and people
yeah,
said wrong.
You shouldn't have shot
Harambe
Harambe.
was going to look after the
Look,
child.
yeah.
If there is a 1% chance that that gorilla could have ripped apart that boy, you got to
Yeah.
take that as an absolute certainty.
There are two timelines possible to us from that moment. One where we say people saw the worst thing they've ever seen in their lives happen at the Cincinnati Zoo. And another one where we say, sadly, we had to shoot a gorilla in the head.
Yeah.
Okay?
Exactly.
We live in probably the better timeline there.
Yeah,
I'll
and-
say it. Maybe that's controversial. Sometimes you
good-
got to shoot a gorilla.
It sucks to say,
It's unfortunate.
but yeah.
These are the choices you have to make.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, people are still up in arms about that. So I take Harambe, bury him at the pet cemetery.
Yeah. Harambe wakes up evil, squeezes your neck so that your head pops.
Yeah.
Somebody living in the neighborhood nearby is like, is that the sound of a gorilla hooting?
Yeah. Get the sound of a gorilla choking a man's
Hey.
neck so hard that it
His head
pops
pops
off.
off. Hey, I'm actually just connecting that with the guy who came into town the other day with the pickup truck with that huge something under his sheet.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah. Yeah.
You stopping in like at a local bar or something, looking out the window. There's clearly a gorilla under a sheet. Hey, where's that pet cemetery?
That's a great place to mourn.
I got a dog.
Yeah, big dog.
That I loved.
That's a huge dog.
Yeah.
It's shaped like a man. Yes. He was
No. It's just sitting. The blanket's just.
It's
sitting
like,
funny.
especially like 3 dogs, just makes the blanket lumpy. What?
Yeah. Where's that cemetery?
Is that
All right, so you've
cemetery
locked up
again?
this gorilla. You
Yeah.
buried it.
Obvious.
You
Dragged
leaving?
it through the woods.
Yes, I'm leaving.
Okay.
So that my head doesn't get squeezed.
Yes.
My neck doesn't get squeezed, so my head pops off.
Okay.
So what? The next day you go there, you see there's like a hole in the ground, and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm scared to walk back to my car.
In that period of time when I leave the pet cemetery,
Yeah, all right.
bury Harambe, leave the
Yeah.
pet cemetery, put out a press statement.
press
Harambe
statement.
survived.
Oh, yeah.
Fair enough.
I'll be like, hey, there was actually there was a mix-up, and because of all of the controversy at the zoo,
Yeah.
I was declared that Harambe didn't survive her injuries, but she did in fact survive, and she's been relocated to this town.
Okay.
And then she's probably going to go on a King Kong-style rampage.
Yeah.
Big time.
And then get killed, and then everyone will come around to the fact that Harambe would have killed that child.
Fair.
Though when we thought Harambe was dead at the Cincinnati Zoo,
Yeah.
that was actually good.
So
Okay.
as part of your
The
press
end.
release,
So a couple of-
Harambe's back and loose.
So a couple of issues that kind of maybe come to mind. It would be like, well, first off, who's going to 100% believe the press release?
Yeah.
Secondly, who wrote this press release? Thirdly,
Who's
why,
publishing it?
Why? Who's Why is
Can people clock what Harambe looks like on
Yeah.
site?
If someone is like, oh no, for some reason there's a little tiny sleepy tail, we have a gorilla on the loose.
Yeah.
That has definitely popped some heads off. And then now we've had to shoot.
Yeah, again.
Yeah.
Would it have the bullet wound from prior?
Yes. It would have it would have horrible matted bloody fur
Yeah,
and a bullet wound in the middle of its forehead.
I guess that after the autopsy or like investigation, they'd
Yeah.
be like, this is the same.
This is Harambe.
Okay. This press release, where we got rid of the remains of Harambe, that no longer exists. Like it's been dug up or
Yeah.
whatever. What did they do with it?
Well, that was something I was wondering about as well, Dusha. If you're like, Harambe is loose, are people going to be like, Harambe's grave was robbed recently?
Yeah.
Are these connected?
Well, what do you do with a gorilla you shoot?
Yeah.
If you're Cincinnati Zoo,
Do zoos have graveyards?
do they bury it or are they going to like cremate
Incinerate
it? Or are
it,
they
maybe?
gonna like, behind closed doors, hack it up and feed it to like, a lion?
I think it would.
Well, there was that awesome thing the zoo
Yeah.
did where they fed a
Giraffe.
giraffe to the lions.
Yeah,
Everyone was like,
during like public hours,
Yeah.
and everyone was like,
Yeah.
"Don't do that," and it's kind of like, "Yeah, don't do
Don't-
that."
yeah.
the zoo was like, no, we're gonna do this. Circle of life, baby.
Well, their reasoning was like genetically or whatever, because it was like a
was like a dud giraffe, right?
And like, even if we were to ship this to other giraffes, like other places around,
Yeah.
it's not going to like further the conservation effort.
Oh, that's right. Because
So-
in my head, the giraffe's already dead, but that was not the
No.
case.
So it's kind of like we just have this kind of like dud giraffe,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like what we have to
Gotta do
euthanize
something
a
with it.
giraffe, and you kind of like this is I guess this is the stuff we don't like to talk about, or the stuff that kind of sucks when it comes to conservation, or whatever.
Oh no,
And so-
I was right.
And so then it's like,
A healthy baby
Yeah.
giraffe at the Copenhagen
Yeah, it's
Zoo
healthy.
was
Yeah.
killed by officials and
Yeah.
fed to lions over
Yeah.
the weekend.
yeah, because it was healthy, but it was a bit of a dud in terms of genetically, like
It wasn't going
helping,
Helping increase giraffe populations.
That was
yeah.
the reason. And so, like, I don't know enough about it to be like, oh, one way or the other. But
Yeah.
I'm like, look, I will defer to the people who are experts.
Sure,
who are like,
sure.
This is a thing that has to happen.
I
And so
think
this
that
is stuff we're like, oh, this kind of sucks.
The
but, you know,
Harambe
whatever.
problem, though, is that
Don't do it. I was gonna say, just don't do it during the
Oh yeah, you don't want people seeing it. But I was gonna say
Well,
with
they
Har-
in fact did an open autopsy where they're like, "Come see the autopsy
I know.
of this giraffe."
I know.
The giraffe had a name as well, which
I
is
wouldn't have
funny.
known that.
because-
that's crazy.
Really, Zoo, whoever your PR person was at the
no.
time, fire them.
But like, I think that you could never feed Harambe to anyone because no animal eats gorilla,
Really?
right? What animals eating gorillas?
An alligator?
Actually, maybe alligators. I think alligators eat chimpanzees.
I saw it once in an episode of The Simpsons, maybe.
Yeah, if I try to,
Because gorillas can't swim, which makes them the perfect.
chimpanzees can't swim.
A lot. Well, also gorillas can't swim. which makes me think be the perfect delicious meal for an alligator.
If
or
I
crocodile.
picture, I think it would be a crocodile.
Crocodile.
If I picture crocodile eating a chimpanzee,
Yes.
I think I'm picturing a Far Side cartoon.
Yes. I think I'm also picturing a Far Side cartoon.
Yeah, so I don't know if that happens in real life.
I'm also picturing there's a Simpsons. I think it might be Simpsons.
Yeah.
Or is it maybe Family Guy?
Where
a gorilla swings and then he falls and then it's just like ate by crocodiles.
Maybe.
Or is that a Futurama?
Well, because
Well, here's something awesome that will settle that debate. Unrelated to answering any of your questions,
yeah.
but
Then
I
I
think that
don't-
this is
okay.
very important to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
The person, so when interviewed, the person was like interviewed about, hey, was it actually a good idea to do this?
yeah,
To
to shoot Harambe.
No,
the
the
giraffe.
giraffe. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
If we sterilize him, he'll take up space more genetically valuable giraffes because his whole thing was basically if this giraffe was left in the program, it would have resulted in inbreeding, which would have been bad and
yeah.
fucked up the giraffes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they were like, we can sterilize him, but that would also not be helpful.
Okay.
And then there was a whole big petition, don't
Yeah.
kill the giraffe. But then they're like, we killed the giraffe. And even though there's been a huge petition and uproar, we are still doing the autopsy. And then the interviewer was like, did the children cry?
Yeah.
Then the person being interviewed says, just the opposite. The crowd was very enthusiastic. And the kids asked really good questions.
Well, at least it was
That rocks.
educational. Maybe the PR guy knew a thing or two about
That's
a
so
thing or
funny.
two.
The kids loved it.
The kids loved it. And then they were
So-
like, well,
so
we've got
good life.
200 kilos of meat now.
Well, what to do?
Time to feed him to the lions.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The lions, what else are they eating? You
Waste
know?
not, want not. You
Ex-
know,
yeah.
they're using the whole animal.
Exactly.
I guess
Now, let's
that's
get,
just like part of the fucked up part of running a zoo.
that's
you
the
gotta do
cycle of
dude.
zoos, dude.
Yeah, so I guess it's just really their biggest crime there was pulling back the curtain on what a zoo is like.
I'm assuming that shit happens all the time in the zoo.
Yeah.
I reckon if you died at the zoo, they'd feed you to a lion.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
You die at the zoo, they do an autopsy in front of the kids.
Yeah,
You
people-
think the kids loved it.
Very
they were asking
enthusiastic.
questions. I don't know.
Let's get back to your Harambe plan.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to get it as a plan. Step one.
Barry Harambe.
Bury.
Well,
What?
no.
Okay, no. Step one, dig up Harambe from Harambe's current grave.
Well, first off, step one, where is Harambe currently?
Where
Step one is find
Harambe?
Harambe's remains. Because if Harambe has been cremated, maybe there's an urn.
Yeah, that's true.
Can you bury an urn?
Yeah, I reckon that would count.
Okay.
Or
This is what I'm trying to work out. Because again, if it was if you bury a steak, what happens? If you bury it,
so okay, the
This
little
what
girl who
happens.
dies,
Yes.
she also gets hit by a truck.
damn, these trucks be
Yeah,
hitting
they live.
everyone.
They were right next to a highway. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, when he gets the little girl back, she has the reconstruction scars on the back of her head that happened during her autopsy and stuff, or during her whatever you call it, getting set up to be buried or whatever.
Yeah.
So she still has the wounds and the.
So if you,
I
were
think
to
she's still
do-
in the body she was in that she
Okay.
died in.
All right. So when you die,
Yeah.
they do an autopsy, or whatever. They generally they cut you open, whatever.
Yeah.
Drain you of all your fluids, and get you all your organs
Yeah.
or whatever, and they got to weigh them and blah 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 blah. Sometimes they're just like, well, now he's got to put them back.
Yeah.
And they'll just kind of in one big pile,
Slough you in.
slough you into the the cavity.
Yeah.
And then they'll just sew you up. Who cares?
Yeah.
Because you're gonna be buried.
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
So that's happened.
Yes.
And so, say for example, maybe it was I don't know, a slow day or a long day at the the mortician factory.
Yeah.
And the person's like, we've got all these dead children organs. Or they're like, well, this is an organ donor.
Yeah.
We've donated those organs. Maybe that's nicer.
Okay.
Yes, they donated all those organs, and so we've sewed up whatever, and here's the dead body. You take the body, you bury the body.
Yeah.
Of course, got the scars.
Yeah.
What about organs? What happened?
We don't see the insides of any of the returned Pet Sematary monsters.
What do they people look like when they come back?
Well, I was just saying
Yeah, they
before,
got the stitches and everything.
they've still
Yeah.
got all the stitches and stuff from.
being
Yeah.
dissected.
I think
or
if you,
autopsy.
I think if you buried an urn full of ashes,
Yeah.
when you dug it up, you would just have alive ashes,
Okay.
Yeah.
and they would maybe go down your throat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You might die coughing on Harambe's dust.
Or
Well-
would it be like kind of like a superhero type thing, or like is it Spider-Man? One of
Yeah.
the ones where it's like this like dust cloud, but in the shape of an angry
Yeah, you might
gorilla.
get like a Sandman gorilla
Yeah.
made of his own cremated
Yeah.
ashes.
Well, so
That's sick as
Scary.
fuck.
And yeah, very cool. But yeah, I was wondering, so what's powering? Because I guess you don't need to eat when
Yeah.
you've come back. So I'm guessing it's just really your flesh.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And like your skin, really.
Yeah.
And you're being, I guess, you're full to the brim of evil.
Yeah. You come back and you say shit like, the little girl comes back and is like, "You were a bad mom. Your grandma's in hell."
Awesome.
Stuff like that. You gotta die, Mom. You gotta die with me. I'm gonna stab you with a needle.
Yeah, that's
You're a
awesome.
bad mom. Grandma's in hell.
Yeah, Grandma
Alright,
rots in
kid.
hell.
She says stuff like that.
Yeah, that's
Grandma's in
awesome.
hell. It's
Sure, I
bad.
guess.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
talk, shit
Grandma
talking
was a shit. Yeah,
about
right.
the afterlife too. Like, you think it's good, but nothing good's happening back there. You shouldn't have brought me back,
Is
bitch.
the kid ever normal?
They're normal briefly, but then they go. It's sort of like they're normal, but it's like a facade.
All right. So,
So
actually,
actually-
it's like your brain, like whatever.
Harambe will pretend to be normal for a bit
Yeah,
and
but
then
the
kill
problem
me.
is Harambe pretends to be a normal gorilla. So you undig Harambe. That's so funny. You're digging in this sort of like dirt, and then Harambe's digging out.
Yeah.
Big gorilla hand.
Hello,
throws you off the
Harambe.
cliff.
We're here to make your death not a mistake. yeah, that's what I thought. Someone should really shoot this gorilla.
So you
Harambe's
yeah.
body, the reason I disappeared there is to try to find out what happened.
Yeah.
The first part of information I found out that his sperm was saved.
Oh, thank.
Well, we could do something with it.
Yeah, so they're gonna.
Oh, what if you buried cum?
I think it would
Come
come back
back
as alive
evil?
cum.
An
Evil alive cum.
But he also wasn't cremated, so his body's somewhere.
That's awesome. Maybe they hid it like how they hid, like they hid where they buried
Margaret-
Alexander the Great.
Yeah,
Oh,
Margaret Thatcher.
They were like, people are going to desecrate Harambe's grave. Okay, so step one, you dig up Harambe under the cover of night. You load him up onto the pickup. You drive all the way out into Maine. Castle Rock, probably.
Yeah.
You go to the pet cemetery.
I'm gonna bury Harambe.
You bury Harambe. You leave.
I need to, and then when I leave, press release. Harambe's still alive.
Okay.
Hiding out in Maine.
Okay.
Hiding out in, maybe you'd be like, Harambe's still alive. Check the grave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dug himself out. He did.
He came
Oh my
back
God.
off. So he died in 2016 and now it's 2024 and he's back.
Are you saying? Okay. Is
He
this
was
a
just
press-
resting.
Hi, Jackson Bailey, the
Yeah,
Jackson
yeah,
Bailey
yeah.
Times.
Yep.
What do you mean by that?
Harambe's back.
yeah. Joel Zabbat Times. What?
Yeah. Back how?
Well, he wasn't dead.
So where was he?
Go on. I don't know. I could just tell you that he's back now. I
Hi.
wasn't there for the other bits.
I got another question. Who are you?
Joel Dusha from the Joel Dusha Times.
So is it,
I used to be just like you schmucks. But now I'm standing here giving a press release.
that's nice to be on the other side, I guess.
Yeah.
I believe
I
in
might
you.
go interview the Cincinnati Zoo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good idea.
Hi, what happened to Harambe?
He got.
We
well,
buried
I
him because he
thought-
shot him in
yeah,
the head.
yeah.
Joel
The
Dusha.
very tragic incident where, like, he looks like he was gonna, kill a boy, so we had to make the unfortunate
Right.
decision to shoot him in the head.
Joel
But
Dusha of
we
the Joel
buried him.
Dusha Times, former journalist.
Yeah.
He says Harambe came back
Well, I mean, we.
or was never dead.
Okay, well, we weren't really going to mention, say this, but yeah, Harambe, his burial site has been disturbed. It
Okay.
looks like someone has dug up Harambe.
Mr. Joel Dusha.
Yeah.
You desecrating a gravesite is a crime, right?
Is desecrating an animal's grave a crime? Is my question to you.
That's a good question. I
Senator
don't know.
No.
No, I'm just curious.
I'm just
I'm
curious.
just asking questions.
I'm just making sure that your
I'm a journalist.
question.
Journalists ask questions.
Yeah, I'm just making sure that your question actually makes logistical sense.
Okay. If Harambe is back, where is he?
Maine.
What bit?
It's a major
Castle
big
Rock, I think.
Yeah. How do you know this?
I saw him.
And then you came all the way down here to give the press. Are you giving the press conference in Castle Rock?
Yeah.
Or did you travel back to Cincinnati?
Yeah.
I reckon I'm probably giving it in Castle Rock. And
So when I'm like, where is he? And you're like, here. I'm like, what? Oh, shit.
Did you dig up Harambe and bring him here?
well, what would that? No, and even if I did do that, no. But like, okay. What do you? I don't understand what you mean. Did I bring? Did
Well,
you
how
ever
do you
bring
know?
him
So
here?
do you live here?
No, I was visiting and saw him.
What do you mean saw him? How do you know?
Harambe's. I saw.
How do you know
How do
it's
you know it's
Harambe
Harambe?
and not just a wild gorilla?
Well, first of all, why would there be a wild gorilla in Maine?
Well, why is Harambe here? Like,
That makes
what are you
just as
talking
much
about?
sense as a wild
So
gorilla.
you have seen a gorilla in
In Maine.
In Maine.
Yes, with a bullet wound in the head, but it's healed.
So you're saying
Harambe.
You're saying you've seen a wounded gorilla, and that you are making the assumption that is Harambe.
Find that gorilla. They shouldn't be hard. There's only one in Maine. DNA tested. That's Harambe.
Even though his grave has been disturbed.
Are you saying he came back from the dead?
I guess. I mean, I'm just here to say that Harambe's back.
So
I don't
because-
have any of the answers you're looking for.
We have the.
We should go find Harambe. That'll probably lead us to the
We
answers.
have the police report. Harambe didn't push himself out of the grave. We know someone
dug him
it up.
with a shovel.
Harambe's back.
That's funny
I
as
don't
well.
know.
If you just like a quick glance at your pickup truck with this shovel that you used to bury him. I don't know who did that.
I just know Harambe's back.
Okay, now let's imagine the people of Castle Rock band together. They posse up. They fight Harambe in the forest, shoot him dead. What have you achieved?
I have achieved the fact that now everyone agrees Harambe was going to hurt
No
that
one's
boy.
talking about that. They're like, was Harambe a zombie? What the hell?
The people that saw, I guess, Harambe lope around. They also have like his his fur's all patchy and messed up.
He looks scary. He
Yeah.
looks terrifying.
And he's
Probably
stinky.
4 years. Harambe's probably mostly skeleton. at this
Whoa,
point.
skeleton Harambe.
I think they cover it up. I think the government gets involved.
Because I was imagining again, like when
That doesn't bode well for me.
like when you're burying, like if it was like a dead fish or whatever,
Yeah.
like and then you have like, a live fish,
Yeah.
like a half, like a skeleton fish kind of stuff,
Yeah.
kind of moving and alive, like that. Imagining that with like Harambe with half his like
Yeah.
flesh missing.
Well, let's
That's
find
what
out.
you're dealing with.
like
How
long?
long?
Yeah.
How much will a body
Decay in 4 years.
decompose in 8 years?
8 years, sorry. Oh, dude. Harambe's full
That's
skeleton.
just a bone. That's just gorilla bones that have come to life.
You've made living gorilla bones that are going to pop your head off.
with like maybe bits of flesh.
Yes. Yeah, there might be scraps
'Cause, like,
attached to the
yeah,
skull
how,
or something.
Again, how does the magic of the
I
cemetery
don't,
work
based
in
on the
regards
movies,
to
based on the movies, it
Bits of a thing.
doesn't reconstruct anything. Yeah, based on the movies, thinking about it now, nothing gets reconstructed. Maybe internally the bones get kind of like reshifted so that you look like you're walking like a normal person.
well, because if there's nothing, so if say for example,
yeah.
Okay.
you've made alive bones.
Yeah, you-
because like there's no tendons, and also have you laid it out perfectly? It wouldn't matter first off,
Yeah.
because it's just bones. There's no connective tissue.
So, apparently, depending on if Harambe was buried in a coffin or not,
I'm
suspect-
no dead body doctor, but I think it's unlikely they gave Harambe a coffin.
how do they? Would they have just dug a
You
hole?
dig a hole, you thumb the ape in.
maybe a sack. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, think about that. Like, how do you?
I'm not
just don't
spending
think-
money to get a
No,
custom ape
yeah.
coffin
They
for
might,
Harambe.
they might do like a wooden box.
Maybe.
So if
Out of
Harambe's
respect for the zookeepers that are there.
if Harambe, yeah, because again, it's like when you bury a dead pet. It feels fucked up, but it's mostly because you're just putting a dead body in the ground.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like as you're burying it with.
Sometimes you wrap it in a sheet. Maybe
Yeah.
Harambe would have been wrapped in a sheet.
Maybe a sheet. Let's go. We'll go a cheap pine box.
Yeah, okay. For
So
you,
it
we'll
takes
give-
up
yeah.
to a decade to fully skeletonize.
Okay,
So
so
Harambe's gonna have some flesh.
So it's
unless
on the cusp.
Harambe is buried without a box.
Yeah.
5 years full skeleton.
okay, you're like Harambe's in the woods. They're like, there's a gorilla's skeleton in the woods.
Harambe's back.
Alive?
Check.
How did you know it was Harambe?
Bullet
It's
wound.
just bones.
Just bones.
Actually, honestly, if you saw a gorilla's skeleton alive in the woods with a bullet hole in his head,
Yeah.
I think that makes sense that you would assume
I
it's
mean,
Harambe.
I would if I
That
was
checks
in.
out for me.
I would if I was in the woods of Cincinnati.
Yeah. I'd be like, well,
But if I'm in the woods of Maine,
no, but still, I'm like, what other gorilla do I know that's been shot in the head?
Yeah, how often do gorillas get shot in the head?
well, now I'm asking these questions.
yeah.
What kind of fucked up country do we live in where everyone's shooting gorillas in the head?
I think you've not necessarily redeemed or anti-redeemed Harambe.
yeah.
You've just made the government come in and cover up magic that happened.
Yeah. Also, I just don't know if a skeleton of the gorilla would be able to move. You might just be a bunch of bones being like,
Those bones have a sinister atmosphere.
yeah.
I hate these bones. But then maybe they'll be like, oh my God, Harambe had a horrible vibe.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Wow. Harambe was really sinister. I'm glad we shot
I'm
him.
glad we
Even without the kid, we should have shot
I'm
him.
glad someone dug up these bones.
Because now we know how, and like, sure, maybe just looking at bones is what's giving us this sinister feeling.
I mean, could you dig him up?
Yeah.
Go down to Cincinnati, bury the bones. Sorry, go down to Maine, bury the bones, dig them up, and then be like, I have exhumed. It's not a crime, I don't think, to desecrate
An animal's grave.
An animal grave. But here are the bones of Harambe, and if you want to come over and have a look, just yucky.
Yeah, sinister. Get really bad vibes.
Bad
these bones.
vibes. So see, maybe it's good.
Inside him all along, Harambe had sinister bones, and I'm proving it.
Well, could people then be arguing like, well, yeah, he's got sinister vibe bones because he got murdered.
Yeah, he got murdered in
And
cold
actually,
blood.
what you're doing now is, exonerating.
Yeah, that's true. You might accidentally exonerate Harambe, which is something I know you don't want to do. And I get it, dude.
No.
apparently desecrating an animal's grave may count as animal cruelty.
Oh, no,
It
dude.
does feel like you're doing some cruel shit to Harambe.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make sure that his death was justified.
It's so funny if you go through all this effort and people are like, yeah, of course.
Oh, thank God. I thought I lived in a world where we thought it was bad to have shot that
No,
gorilla.
we understood it's a tragedy, but it had to happen. Phew, I really wish I hadn't brought back Harambe as evil bones.
Maybe I'll bring back that giraffe as well that we fed to lions at the zoo.
Zoo revenge. I was thinking that I could maybe use it as a way of getting back at poachers somehow.
Okay.
So it requires...
Lot.
Okay, so I find a stuffed, say, bear
Yes.
in like a hunter's cabin.
Okay.
What do you mean get back at poachers? Because poachers are armed with the one thing that will stop whatever you're about to do again.
No, but it's okay. How do you kill the zombie cat that comes back?
It gets killed by morphine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gets killed by... Yeah, and then
It basically gets given a lethal injection.
Yeah. And the little kid just doesn't die. So, not in the remake.
If it's kind of like, zombie kind of rule. If someone's like a poacher trying to re-poach that bear, are they...
Shrugging off the bullets.
Are they like, gotta aim for their head?
Well, here's what I'm thinking. A bear is not stuffed with its own guts.
Correct.
It's full of, I don't know what. But if I bury the bear, at least the skin and stuff, will it come back with...
Like what we were saying before. It
Yeah.
seems to be, just the encasing.
Yeah. But is that... So, say you stuff a bear. Say you kill a bear. You stuff the bear with, like... I don't know what.
Hey.
Let's say hey.
Let's go with what you do, like a regular, say, a teddy bear.
Yeah.
That.
Okay, it's full of stuffing.
Yep.
Then it comes back to life. Obviously, I do also have the problem that you have.
Yeah, of the bear grabbing your neck and squeezing it so hard your head pops off.
Well,
No.
yeah, but also there's no skeleton.
Yeah, but it's full of stuffing.
It's floppy. You've brought back a floppy bear.
Yeah.
Because I was like...
With like the ferocious appetite of a bear, but floppy.
And then, I was going to say, and then I like take the poachers. I'm like, do you want to go hunting in the forest around the pet cemetery?
Yeah.
And then the bear can get its revenge, but it's a floppy
that's
bear.
great, but it's you got to kind of take
And also,
it.
if you've just taken poachers poaching,
Yeah.
the animal comes. Like, doesn't matter how ferocious the animal is. If the poacher is in a car
I'm
with
watching
a
the
gun,
poacher killing a bunch of animals, being like, where's that bear?
Putting a poacher, bang, there goes a deer. Okay,
Oh, fuck, the
bang,
bear is
another
like
deer.
trying to get out of the pet.
Just flopping around the place.
Like, oh, fuck.
Like, and also I'm guessing because it's like the weight,
yeah,
the
you
jaw
can kill
and
as
the
much as
teeth.
you want.
Kill as many animals as you like,
Yeah.
I gotta just go check on something. Seeing the bear
Yeah,
like
just
this.
flop.
Oh, fuck.
No skeletons, of course.
It's floppy.
It's
all
got to have
floppy.
something in there to keep it upright.
Stuffing?
But does that mean that the bear actually isn't floppy? It just comes back like this.
Like he's just kind of like just like
it's buried in the ground, can't get out, and it's just growling.
got no mobility.
Oh
got no
man,
joints.
it stinks.
And then,
Well, okay, hey.
yeah, this is
So
hard
what
to
about
figure
no?
this out. Go on.
I go to a poacher's cabin.
Yep.
And I steal everything they've got. I steal mounted moose heads. I steal bearskin rugs. I steal like elephant's foot umbrella holders.
Yeah.
Take them all to the pet cemetery.
Yeah.
Bury them.
Yeah.
Bring them back.
Yeah.
They stink like shit.
Yeah.
Like shit, they're also alive. That elephant umbrella is Stampy.
I returned them to the cabin.
The deer head is just yelling on the wall.
Yelling and trying to headbutt
Oh
everyone.
my god! And they smell like shit.
Oh, yeah.
And
So
then
the poachers go back to their house and they're like, I live in a nightmare now. My walls are screaming and everything smells like shit.
Oh yeah, I gotta leave because all these animals, they're back again. They're evil. I was right to kill them all because animals are evil. I'm gonna up my poaching game.
Yes.
Yes.
Thankfully, I was invited to poach in these woods.
Well, apparently
in
there's
Maine.
no limit.
That's what he kept saying. And he kept looking around, really distracted.
Yeah. Just keep
Keep
kill
killing
as much
whatever
as you
kill.
want.
However many animals gotta die, it doesn't matter. Yeah, here, take
Yeah. You're
just-
joining in.
I'm just trying to keep up appearances. Hey, do you want to go head towards that direction? And
Yeah. Because the problem is you
the
want
bear
to
standing like this. He's like, "Is that my stuffed bear?" Yeah.
wow, what's it doing?
How do you
there?
get here? Maybe this is going to teach you a lesson.
Do you want to go over? Smells like shit. I'm gonna leave it. Yeah. No.
Looks like it really struggled to claw out of a grave.
Yeah, it's really floppy for some reason. Yeah.
Because the idea there to teach them a lesson, but
Yeah.
the lesson there is like what? Don't poach or bad boy for poaching.
Because my...
Or you want to like revenge to like bear kill him.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
kind of
Because
like
at least, look,
Yeah.
say what you want about my maybe nonsense plan.
Yeah.
But at least my lesson is meant to be it was good to kill the animal.
Yeah.
You're trying to bring back evil animals and to teach a poacher that they shouldn't kill animals.
Yeah.
But it's just going to make them want to
Yeah.
kill more animals, but this
Like,
time in self-defense.
not just that as well. Like you bring back say you go
Yeah.
get a freshly poached bear before they come down to harvest it or
Yeah,
whatever.
okay.
They grab it, you bury it. Now you have a evil, angry
Okay.
bear that has come back. Maybe it wants revenge on the person that killed it.
Yeah.
It's also maybe just wants to be evil and kill everything.
I've had a
And
stroke
so
of I've had a
then
stroke of genius.
It's like everyone's
I've got
like,
a good idea for you, too.
you should kill the bear because it's killing everyone.
But I guess listen to my
Go
stroke
on.
of genius.
Let's see if it's the same one I just
Okay,
had.
sometimes you gotta crack a few eggs to make an omelet.
Yeah, okay, this could still be the same thought I had.
I go into say it's a forest that's full of like endangered bears.
Yep.
Because it has to be within the area. I can't go to like Africa
Yeah,
or something.
yeah,
It's just okay. So it's full. I kill every bear in the forest.
Okay, we're different.
And I kill every deer, every moose, every squirrel, every mouse, every bird, robins, blue jays. The forest is devoid of life.
okay.
In my big sack, I take all the bodies to the pet cemetery.
Yes.
Bury them. I
Okay.
leave. Now every animal smells like shit, and the poachers don't want them anymore.
They're also just
What
going to
do
walk
you-
down into town and just kill
Yeah,
everyone.
what do you do to an ecosystem where every animal, I guess,
Is dead.
Is dead. Thirst because they can't reproduce.
Yo,
Is thirsting for like meter of like humans.
Yep.
Because that cat wants to kill a baby, a
Yes,
human baby.
yes, it does.
So now you've probably got a bunch of like deer that's like, I'm gonna fucking stop on a baby.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good for me. You now have a bunch of anger, like a forest of evil.
I'm sitting in a diner in the town. I'm like, yeah, feeling real good about myself. Yeah, give me the slice of pie and a coffee.
Yeah.
Just hearing like, ah! I'm like, I don't think that's gonna do
No.
me.
As they all the forest animals stampede.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
So
well-
what was
'Cause what
your
I-
idea? 'Cause
I was
think
gonna
I've got
say-
another-
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, poaching's not good, but
Yeah.
the thing that's not good about it is the death of an innocent animal.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Hey, if you're going to make an omelet, you got to break a few eggs.
Yeah.
So there'll be endangered bears in the forest.
Uh-huh.
Kill one,
Okay.
bury it,
Yeah.
They can poach that bear.
poach that bear,
Maybe you
and then
do a little tag
bury
on
it again.
They can poach
Poach
it
the bear.
again.
and keep going and keep going. Recycle it.
Yeah, recycled poaching.
The problem is that the bear, because, okay,
We'll get more evil and more fucked up.
you
Yes.
keep showing it heaven and then robbing it of heaven, which is what I assume happens.
That's why
Yeah.
they come back pissed off. I can only
Yeah.
assume.
Or they go to hell or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or it's a demon in the bear or not really a bear. It's unclear.
yeah.
Well, if it's a demon, that's all right.
Yeah.
If it's a demon, that's funny. Because the demon keeps being like, all right, here's my chance. Arriving in hell and being like, God damn it. Oh, there's a bear going again. Oh, okay, another chance, another chance. Yeah.
Well, that may be the one. probably our best idea yet.
Yeah.
To recycle poaching. I was thinking if we could maybe. If we just go in there and we excavate a bit, like we dig up a bit of dirt.
Okay.
So now we have this Pet Cemetery dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Can we say, for example, if I say injure myself,
Oh.
say I've got a big gash on my leg or my leg has fallen off, and if I just bury my bloody leg in some grave dirt,
Yeah.
we can
Okay.
lay-
am I gonna get a?
You're gonna get
am
a
I gonna-
sinister leg.
A sinister leg, but a functional leg. Sure, it's a bit stinky. Yeah, it's not great.
And
but
every time
it-
people see it, they get very upset.
upset, but it's still there. Prosthetic would be easier.
Yeah.
And also, I think that like we've established that the wound wouldn't be healed.
That's true. That's
No,
true.
I
Is there
would
some
maybe get
strategy to
sepsis.
like is like you dig a hole in the
Yeah.
pet cemetery, shoot yourself in the head,
Fall in.
fall in the hole.
Oh.
Well, you do need to be buried.
Fall in the hole, but
Set up some kind of
Maybe you're
rug.
holding
Goldberg
you're holding a
machine.
rug that's
Okay,
covered in
so-
dirt. So when you fall back, you pull the rug and the dirt on top of you.
Yeah. Or alternatively, you can just have it so that when you fall into. So let's just say you've set up kind of like one of those like rabbit traps or whatever.
Yeah, okay.
So you're going to fall backwards after you shoot yourself. You're going to land, which will knock a stick, and the
Yeah.
stick is holding up this thing of dirt, so
Yeah.
it'll cover you.
Yeah, yeah.
how much do I need to be covered?
You got to be buried, and then you actually have to build a little can of stones on top of you.
That's gonna be. So I was gonna be like, I could bury myself enough, and
Yeah.
then just then you kind of shoot yourself underground a bit.
Shooting yourself underground is crazy.
The idea of like
Because you gotta
burying
bury yourself
and
like,
then
a
just,
a little bit, and
Yeah.
then just like up to your head. You can do it.
Yeah.
But then I can't put the little
Okay,
can.
step one, get a helper monkey.
help a monkey.
Yeah, step two, train it to make a little can. And it can help you do the dishes, whatever.
What do you mean a little can?
Like
like a can?
CAIRN, so like a lot, like a
Oh,
stack of
right.
rocks.
Yep. Like Blair Witch stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you train the monkey. Hey, monkey, when I die, you build a
build
little
this.
stack of rocks. You come back, kill that monkey.
Well, here's what I think happens. You pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Die. Monkey gets so scared.
runs away.
You at the house we've bought are like, why is Jackson's helper monkey coming back terrified?
Yeah, he keeps
You're like,
really
I heard that
spooked,
gunshot. Was Jackson trying to shoot his monkey?
the monkeys to de-stress the monkey. He's building these cans.
Why is it doing that? I rot in the mountains. A missing person. Eventually, someone finds me, buries me, doesn't build the can because they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Missing, presumed dead.
Yeah.
Did my plan go well? What was my plan?
I don't
What's
know.
the bit?
We got a monkey. What
What's
is
the bit here?
So you see there, you buried yourself and you escaped away the monkey, but what's the bit?
Well, the bit was. I was sort of hoping that the bit would turn up.
Yeah.
That we'd figure out the bit as we went.
Because even if it works, what would happen? You're evil.
I see
And
heaven
then-
briefly.
And then come back stinky?
Yeah.
Pissed off?
Pissed off, I
Stinky and
guess.
evil.
Yeah.
And then what's it?
Or a demon goes in my body.
Yeah.
And I just go to heaven normal style.
Yeah.
And the demon possessing your body, does it go and like maybe try and murder your helper monkey and the
Yes.
rest of your family?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does.
And that helps you out because
Well, it's funny to imagine you hear the gunshot in the woods. My helper monkey comes back scared, starts
Yeah.
spitting little cans. You're like, he was trying to shoot his helper monkey. And then I appear the next day at the edge of the forest with a gun. And you're like, he's back for more. Grab the monkey. We need to save it.
he's trying to kill his own monkey. Get
We
him.
knew it. We knew the
Yeah,
moment
we
he got
knew.
one,
He's going to try and kill that monkey.
just sitting on a chair. I might shoot my monkey later. I'm thinking I'm going to shoot that monkey with a gun.
Yeah. Hey, we found the bit.
We found the bit.
It came to us.
The bit is I want to shoot a monkey with a gun for some reason. And when I appear at the edge of the forest, you have to save that monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on
Yeah.
that note, I've been Joel.
I've been
And
Jackson.
I've been Joel.
Nothing, Pet Cemetery. Nothing good can come
Don't
out
bury
of it.
dude. Sometimes dad is better.
That is better. He's dead better, sir.
That's not even how he sounded. Sometimes dad is better. It's more accurate.
Yeah.
He's played by Third Rock from the Sun guy.
This guy?
Yeah,
John Lithgow. Wow. Well,